What's going on, everyone? I am your host, DeFi Sean, and you are watching Crypto and Cause Investing. And today, we're going to be talking about Broccoli. Now, one of the first things that drew me into Broccoli is their mission and their vision very much aligns with what I like to cover on the channel, but also with my personal projects within crypto. Now, when it comes to their mission, they're not just interested in building wealth, but they're also interested in building history. And when it comes to this space, the crypto space, we know majority of people, developers, everyone in this space, all they do all day long is chase charts. Now, Broccoli kind of flips things on its head by not just looking and chasing the chart all day long, but writing songs, producing films, and just creating value that lasts for the project, which again, very much aligns with my vision. When it comes to my project, I'm more interested in creating that value because once that value is created, we all know that value will bring people, which in return will raise that chart. And again, when you just chase that chart, it's only a matter of time before you dump and the whole thing is over with. When you build value, it definitely props it up and makes it a sustainable business model. Now, when it comes to the vision, Broccoli also wants to be in the forefront of leading and getting greed out of this space, which is definitely something that I am very much interested in. We do lives regularly for our projects. I obviously do tons of token reviews on the channel, and that is one of my main focuses, is cutting the greed from the space and getting people to see how amazing Web3 is. And when we can all work together, it will raise everything and make the space truly become great, which it definitely has the potential to come. It just needs to get that greed cut from it. But before we dive a little bit deeper into Broccoli, if you can go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, and let's go. All right, guys, so let me start by saying I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I give financial advice. In my videos, my main goal is to start you off doing your own research and seeing if Broccoli or whatever project I'm covering is something that you may be interested in. So you take my project and then you just continue doing that research. I do want to take a quick look at the chart. Now, I don't do technical analysis on the channel, and things obviously in crypto can change majorly. These numbers can be wildly different when the video is actually released, but taking a look at the numbers, we do have a market cap at 2.17 million. Liquidity is very solid and 100% locked at 559. Holder count is amazing, over 10,000. You always like to see that at 14.12K. And 24-hour volume, very solid at 142,000. So did just want to take a quick look at the chart before we kind of dive into everything. So now that we took a look at DEX tools and the decentralized side, let's hop on over to CoinMarketCap to kind of get a full picture of everything going on, including the centralized exchanges. Now, when you throw in the centralized exchange volume, you're looking at a drastic uptick in volume at $1.96 million in volume. Market cap at 2.18 million with a fully diluted value at 11.81 million. And if you notice, there's a pretty big discrepancy between the market cap right here and the fully diluted value. And that's because the project developer bought and burned 81.5% of the supply 3 days after launch. So when you're taking into account the full circulating supply, or excuse me, max supply, you'll be at 11.79 million, which I guess you can kind of say is the true market cap. So I wanted to point that out, and that's a very bullish move that the project developer made. You don't see that happening too often. Coming on down though, we can take a look at the different centralized exchanges. Now, when it comes to centralized exchanges, if you're not familiar with kind of how it works in the back end, majority of projects, and I mean majority of projects, they're going to pay for these centralized exchange listings. I don't want to dox their prices or anything like that, but they do pay a pretty hefty fee to be on all this. Well, with Broccoli, the centralized exchanges chose to list Broccoli, went ahead, bought the supply, and deployed it on their platform, which is again very bullish. It just shows that the project itself has volume and it has an active community, which is what these centralized exchanges look for, because at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want users on their platform and they want volume. So again, just very bullish with everything going on here from the project developer doing 81.5% burn with their own funds, and then the centralized exchange listings choosing to list Broccoli, and again, not Broccoli paying for the listing. So let's go ahead and do a full website review so you can get a little bit more detail of what exactly Broccoli is. It is a meme coin deployed on Flap pump.sh. Hopping on over. It's a meme or pump fund style platform. Honestly, a lot better in my opinion. We got it listed right here. So just kind of like to show you the origin story of exactly where it came from. We have our contract address right here. You can buy on PancakeSwap, again, with all of the other centralized exchanges as well. Now coming on down, checking out the intro. The Broccoli token was launched as a meme coin in relation to CZ finally naming his dog. So for those asking for a contract address for me, no, I am not issuing a meme coin. I am just posting a photo of my dog and his name as some of you requested. I also took advice from this thread yesterday. Let the best meme coin in the community win. So coming on down, yeah, there will be multiple meme coin. It's kind of a gamble. One will get lucky and start running, and then the market usually sticks with that one. And that's a very true statement. Within the meme market, so many people see an idea and they pounce on it, and so many different tokens are launched with that same idea, but for no rhyme or reason, one of those tokens will just catch on and just absolutely explode, and it looks like Broccoli is the one that is going to do that. And it was clear from the start that CZ would not officially endorse any particular coin, but instead allow all entries to fight for their place in the BNB ecosystem. Moving on down the website, as we stated earlier, 81.5% of the supply was bought and burned by the project developer. Again, super bullish info. Also, want to reiterate, the centralized exchanges were not paid for. The centralized exchanges bought the supply and again deployed on their platform. Also, though, important to note, the KuCoin listing was actually from a community vote. I know every so often, I don't know the exact details of when, KuCoin will have votes to see who they want to list on their platform. Broccoli ended up winning that, which just shows you the strength and how strong that Broccoli community is. Then one final thing I'm going to say about that big 81.5% burn, which again is just so bullish because you don't see many projects doing that. They want to hoard as many tokens as possible so that they can dump it. It's just unfortunately the way of crypto. But coming on over to bubble maps, as you can see, especially because of that burn, there's not really any major clusters of stuff going on. All the wallets are pretty much less than 0.25%. So these are going to be the top 250 holders, I believe it is. So that's a really good thing to see. And again, the more and more I dig into the project, the more and more bullish I'm becoming on this actually being set up as a community project. Not to mention, it was kind of CTO'd by a board of about 30 members from 20 different countries that has a ton of experience within the DeFi space. A lot of them helping a multitude of projects get into the billions of dollars of market cap. So again, the more you find out about Broccoli, the deeper you dive into it, the more and more bullish you get on it. So I just wanted to just show you these wallets, and again, just dwindling it down to less and less percent. So there's no major whale sitting right there with like 8% just waiting to dump. So let's circle back around to what I initially touched on a little in the beginning and what makes me bullish on Broccoli. So they're looking to solve a couple of different things in the space, or I should say the major things in the space. And that's being, the first one is that DeFi and crypto in general right now is basically just a casino. You're rolling that dice and you're praying for the best because it's so hard to do research because so many developers, their projects, 99% of them are not sustainable. So you're looking at that 1% or possibly less of projects that have that sustainability to where you can actually go to sleep and not wake up and your $1,000 has turned into $75, which is the ultimate goal. Hopefully we're going to kind of be turning that corner, and with the help of Broccoli and other people like myself, hopefully we kind of get into that era where you can actually sleep on your projects and people are actually building stuff with value again, like Broccoli. And the next major thing is developers. Developers have absolutely destroyed trust in almost everything. When you go into a crypto project, everyone is skeptical. So you know that 1% or less of developers out there that are actually building something real, organic, and that has value, you're going to be questioned nonstop because of the 99% of developers that straight up steal, Form LP, all that different stuff. And let's go over exactly some of the ways that Broccoli is going to be looking to solve these problems. So first and foremost, the narrative is there. Being the name of CZ's dog is a huge deal and a very good narrative to push, because when it comes to meme tokens, narratives are where it's at. You got to have that good narrative if you really want to push to the masses. It's 100% community driven. There's a DAO governance. There's zero pre-allocation, so there's no tokens there waiting for that huge pump that were just handed out, ready to sell on everyone. No VC manipulation, which VCs, I think in some tokens are a necessary evil. Obviously in Broccoli's case, case, it's not. They're going to be utilizing proof of labor, which might be a way to kind of offset the need for those VC funds. And at the end of the day, they're a cultural powerhouse, producing over 24 original songs, 2 micro series, and their thriving community ranges across 70 different countries. So there's just a few reasons what makes me so bullish on Broccoli and some of the things and some of the ways that they're solving some of the problems that we just spoke about. So checking out those socials on Twitter, they do have 11.5 thousand followers. So they do have over those 10,000 followers, which is awesome. Coming on down, you can see there's great engagement, views, likes, reposts, comments, everything you want to see for crypto. Because again, community is the end all be all, and this is 100% community driven. But just coming on down, you can see all of the engagement going on with all of the posts. Also, if you're not in there, go ahead and join that Telegram. They do have 2,307 subscribers and kind of become part of the conversation for Broccoli. Now, my personal opinion when it comes to Broccoli, these are one of the, I guess you can say, few conviction plays that I actually have in the space. Again, you're looking for that 1% of projects that actually have some kind of value to lend and that actually can grow over the course of time. Now again, remember, with all this said, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I give financial advice. I just give you my opinion of crypto and how I feel about certain things. It's up to you to take this video, continue doing your own research and seeing if Broccoli is a right play for you. But that's going to do it for today's video. And until next time, trade safe.